Happy Friday. Ahead on lunch break, drama at Chapel Hill Mall. Why the city threatened to shut its doors and what's next for the mall's future. And advertisers have been targeting us on our phones and computers for years now, but now they're targeting us on billboards. We're going to explain why they are following you. Plus, it's officially 2020, but we're going to tell you why. You're not going to want to abbreviate the year on checks and official documents, or else you could become a victim of fraud. Sit back and relax. Lunch break starts right now.
It's your lunch break with Jay Crawford.
We actually are Jay Crawford-less today.
Well, that is true, but the show must go on.
I know. People might be tuning in thinking this is 5 a.m., and it's not. It is noon. I am Maureen Kyle along with Dave Tadowski. We are filling in for Jay while he enjoys some time off. So,
Yep.
Dave, we've made it to the weekend.
Well, I figured
Kind of.
we have breakfast together every morning. Why not have lunch?
Why not have
I mean,
lunch?
Makes
Let's
it work
do
here
this.
on this Friday.
Yeah, so any plans for the weekend?
You know, I do actually. I think it's going to be a busy weekend. A lot of sporting events. The girls have a lot of games this
Yeah.
weekend, and we're trying to formulate a plan. You might see, you might go to a movie.
Oh.
Or maybe some bowling. Real exciting stuff. How about you?
Slow your roll there, Dave.
I know.
No, I'm one of those, and I was talking to our executive producer of the morning show, Jenny. You have this to-do list for the year, and you think you're going to get it all done in the weekend. So,
Right.
like in my mind, I'm going to repaint a room and lose 10 pounds, but that's not going to work this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll chip away at it.
Well, I'll tell you, yesterday with that great weather, I got the
Yeah.
Christmas lights down, so I feel like I'm ahead of the game.
You are.
So.
You are. I'm
Bonus
jealous.
time. Well, it happens. All right. Well, Maureen, first today, we're going to start with this. The city of Akron will not close Chapel Hill Mall. Officials were threatening to turn off its water and close its doors over an unpaid bill. All right, Brandon Simmons is live there now. Brandon, what can you tell us?
Hi, Dave. One thing you can see, the mall is open behind us. You can see the lights are on and the water is still flowing. The city of Akron, of course, they said they had planned to turn off the water first thing this morning at 9:15 a.m. because they'd been in conversations with the mall's owners back and forth for several months, and they hadn't paid that significant water bill, is what they called it, a significant number, but wouldn't tell us exactly how much it is. But again, they were able to get that all squared away this morning. Things are taken care of, and now the mall back open. And we were waiting to hear from the mall's operator out of New York on exactly what happened. So far, we haven't heard anything new, only that things are okay in their eyes. And a lot of people wondering, though, what that means for the future of the mall, of course, Dave and Maureen.
Yeah, and Brandon, and one of the reasons why this made headlines is because this isn't the first time the mall reportedly had financial trouble, and we are hearing a story similar to this.
Yeah, we've done this story before. We were here back in April the first time. First Energy was involved in that story. Ohio Edison said, we're going to turn off the electricity here. All of the tenants here got notices as a courtesy, kind of to let them know that if they had any perishable items, anything like that, they needed to get it out of there because they were going to be turning the electricity off. Again, back then, that situation, they were able to get the bill taken care of and didn't get it turned off. But again, First Energy sent new notices in December, but again, that bill got paid last minute. So this is kind of a pattern from what it appears from the owner of this mall, of Chapel Hill Mall, which is Cohen Retail Investment Group out of New York. This is just kind of how they handle things, and par for the course, but it's kind of tough when you're a tenant wondering whether or not you'll be able to be open for business or not.
Yeah, certainly. Now, Brandon, you touched on it already. Obviously, you're going to find out more this afternoon, but is there anyone there this afternoon here during lunchtime that's talking about what possibly could be next for the mall?
Yeah, a lot of people here are just wondering that. We've had so many people drive by and say, hey, is the water on? Can we go in there? What's going to happen next? Is it going to close? Hopefully we'll hear more from the city on long-term plans for the mall. But right now, the mall operator isn't budging, saying they're not going anywhere, saying we're open for business. So we expect Chapel Hill to be around until we hear otherwise, really.
All right. Brandon, thank you for the update. We're going to be paying attention as that unfolds over the next few weeks,
My
too.
goodness, certainly,
we don't know
yeah.
what will happen.
Well, here's a big story, Maureen. We talked about it this morning on Go. Certainly a tense and dangerous situation is brewing in the Middle East. The U.S. killed one of Iran's top military leaders, Major Qasem Soleimani. He was killed in a U.S. drone strike at the Baghdad airport. President Trump tweeted he was directly and indirectly responsible for the death of millions of people.
Now, Iran is promising to retaliate. Hundreds of U.S. troops were sent in. This stems from 2 days of violent protests at the U.S. Embassy in Iraq, and after Iranian militias targeted U.S. troops. So we're going to continue to stay on top of this story. It is evolving as we go throughout the day. We're going to bring you the latest on air and online.
Well, now to a story that's been the talk of the town for quite some time now. Simple question, who is Jenny? Well, a billboard popped up last month, and the creators placed signs by random items across Northeast Ohio. This morning, Rubber City Radio Group announced Jenny is a new radio station called Jenny 107.3, the pulse of the North Coast. The station was previously home to Smooth Jazz. The name Jenny, which is spelled Jeny, is a play on Generation Y, who is the target audience, which means female millennials. Maureen, good marketing here, I think. I mean, what did you think it was?
The whole time?
The whole time.
If I'm going to be honest, and
Yeah.
I hope I don't take a morbid turn, I was thinking it was some sort of, like Dateline-esque or true crime type of show that was going to come out. Just the way it was the black and white with the hashtag, and it definitely caught my attention because I thought it was going to
You do
be
love your
something.
Dateline.
I do love my
You do love
Dateline,
your
especially
Dateline.
on a Friday night. So that's where I thought it was going. How about you?
I was wondering perhaps if it was going to be the next Browns head coach or general manager. I mean,
You never know.
I mean, Jenny couldn't do much worse.
A
right?
theoretical Jenny might do as well. We have no idea.
There you
But
have
no,
it.
I think it was an attention grabber, and we'll see if it turns into listeners for them. So
When
we'll
you
see.
get people talking about smart move too, putting it around different locations in the city.
Yeah.
That's
Speaking
fun.
of ads, it seems like our every move is being tracked. Companies show ads online based on our conversations and searches, but they're now taking it a step further. Companies are targeting us in the real world, and that means digital billboards in airports and bus stops. They pair technology on your smartphone and car technology with other consumer information. So it just brings the question back up that so many of us have been asking for a while. Do we really have privacy? So what do you think about this? Because, I mean, now you're driving past and you might see an advert. You and I might mention a product, and what if you saw a billboard for it on your drive home?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel like there is a ton of privacy. I feel like, I mean, I watch too many shows where I feel like they can get answers whenever they need. Although it seems like when you want to solve a crime, not necessarily,
Right.
you can't get the answer that
Yeah.
you need. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a scary thought, really.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Do you mind it, though? I guess, here's another question. Do you mind it when you mention a product and then it pops up on your cell phone? Do you feel like your privacy has been violated, or do you think, I needed that?
Can I be honest with
Yeah.
you? I don't really talk to my phone too much. Yeah. So really, not a lot's popping up in my world.
Yeah, no?
But when it does happen, I don't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
I'm the wrong guy to
And
ask.
a question is,
I'm boring.
can we protect our information? Consumer Reports says not really.
If you like using 21st century technology, there's really nothing you can do to shut the system down entirely.
You can limit which apps have access to your location, delete apps when we're not using them, and adjust privacy settings on social media. So that's what you can do.
All right. Well, I think it's time to find out what's happening around town this weekend. Stephanie Haney is here now with what's going on in Cleveland this weekend.
Dave, Maureen, the opportunities to have a good time this weekend do not disappoint. First up, a chance to honor a legend. Did you know that January is unofficially David Bowie month in Northeast Ohio? There are several events happening in celebration of the musical icon who was born on January 8th and passed away 2 days after releasing his 25th studio album, Black Star, which was also 2 days after his 69th birthday in 2016. So the events that are honoring his life are happening throughout the month. First up is tonight, a Friday night without David Bowie. This is an interactive tour of the life of the late Ziggy Stardust. This is directed and produced by Cool Cleveland publisher Thomas Mulready. There will also be live music by Vanity Crash. This is happening at Winchester Music Tavern in Lakewood tonight at 8 p.m. Those tickets are $25, and we have those other events that are happening up on WKYC.com. Elsewhere in Lakewood, if getting into yoga is one of your New Year's resolutions, you can get a jump on that for free on Sunday. You can head to Yoga Roots Lakewood, where instructor Sarah Husher is giving out a free yoga session. She says that this is great for beginners and also people who want to brush up on their yoga basics. You can register in advance online. We have that link on the site, and this is Sunday from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Now, if you think you might love ice skating, you can also try that out for free this weekend. That's thanks to Brooklyn Blades on Ice, which is the official Learn to Skate program offered by the City of Brooklyn for ages 3 and up. This is part of their program. It's called Brooklyn Blades Annual It's Great to Skate event. And there will be free open skating plus raffles and giveaways. And there will be instructors there to help the beginners out. This is Sunday from 2:45 to 3:45 p.m. We have all of this information up on WKYC.com, so you can register, plus more. Dave, Maureen.
All right, I'm going to start calling my daughter Brooklyn Blades. She loves to ice skate.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a good nickname.
All right, well, Stephanie, thanks for that. One thing we won't be doing this weekend, and for a lot of weekends coming up, which isn't maybe a bad thing right now. Yeah, no Browns. But we have breaking news here as we eat lunch today with the Browns. The team announced they will interview Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy today in Kansas City. He's the third candidate to be interviewed by the Browns for their head coaching vacancy. The first interview went to former Packers coach Mike McCarthy. He visited Berea yesterday. He has a ton of experience and won a Super Bowl with the Packers. The Browns also interviewed Ravens offensive coordinator Greg Roman in Baltimore yesterday. There are 4 other interviews scheduled over the next week. Listen to this, Maureen. A report surfaced yesterday that the Browns are very interested in that guy. You know who that is?
I know him well.
Oh,
Urban
yeah.
Meyer.
Urban Meyer. Former Ohio State head coach Jimmy Haslam was asked point blank about Meyer yesterday and said, quote, right now, they're only looking at candidates with NFL coaching experience. Many fans around here would love to see this go down. And late last night, we learned that the Dallas Cowboys have decided not to bring back Jason Garrett as their head coach. ESPN first to report this. Garrett is the second winningest coach in team history, but the Cowboys missed the playoffs. It just has not worked out with him. Now, maybe Garrett could come back to Cleveland. He graduated from university school. Or one of the candidates we would want could end up going to Dallas. So we'll have to wait and see if this affects the Browns at all. And Jimmy Haslam addressed the media yesterday for the first time since parting ways with their head coach, Freddie Kitchens, and John Dorsey, their GM. He says they are committed to getting it right this time. Boy, I've heard that before somewhere, like every time he does it.
Too many other times, yeah.
You got to go to WKYC. Brian Crane from our web department put this great piece together of all the times he's talked since he took over ownership. It's incredible.
Really? Okay. I mean, it gives insight on like.
It gives you no insight.
No insight, but it shows a pattern.
Yes, there you go. It gives the insight it gives you is that he says the same thing every time, and it's just Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's hope that this time is.
I mean, that's hey, we're fans. We love the Browns, and hopefully this time he gets it right.
We're crossing our fingers. And next on the menu, when we have to write the date, many of us just abbreviate the year. But writing 20 could actually make you a victim of fraud. We're going to explain.
Morning, Kyle. Dave Chudowski here with you on lunch break here. And it's a new year, but getting out of the habit of writing 2019, it takes a while.
I know. It's going to take until 2021 for me. But if you like to abbreviate the year, 2020, you could become the victim of fraud. Our Verify team is breaking it down for us.
When signing and dating legal documents, do not use 20 as the year 2020. That post from a police department, and it's just one example of the post we've seen. Basic idea, when you write the date, like January 1st, 2020, make sure you write out the full year, 2020, and don't shorten it to just 20. Why? Well, the argument is that it's incredibly easy for someone to take that 20 and change it to any other year this century. Say you write a check for February 1st, 20, and you pay someone with it. They write 2021 or 2022 and cash it years later when you don't expect it. Or what about a legal contract? You agree to a job starting April 1st, 20 and ending June 1st, 20. Then they change it to say you started in 2019 and don't end until 2024. Yeah, it's a frightening concept that a fraudster could just completely change the date. But would it actually work? Well, it definitely could. For checks, there are laws regarding their expiration. The U.S. Uniform Commercial Code, for instance, says banks don't have to honor a check after 6 months. So a check in February can only be cashed through August, right? Well, not if you just put 20. Now, they could write 2021 and cash it from February through August of the next year and on and on. Simply put, this would be hard to stop. So these posts are good advice. It's worth taking the extra half second to write out the full year 2020. But keep in mind, in our digital age, it's increasingly easier to fake photos, videos, and even documents. Someone can still digitally edit something to defraud you, even if you wrote the full date. Now, we're not saying that to scare you, more to point out that while this tip is a good one, it's also great advice to keep your own copies of documents and agreements. If you take a picture of a check or legal agreement, you have proof that something was changed, which will make getting it fixed a whole lot easier. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Well, a couple ways we can go on this, but one thing, and you brought it up this morning, and I thought it was actually pretty smart. Like, do you think one day there just won't be checks anymore? Because you made the joke, who writes checks anymore?
Right.
But, I mean...
There are very few things I write checks for, very few. And what I thought most interesting about that is the legal documents. Mm-hmm. When you sign a contract with somebody, or, if your job requires contracts, that's where you usually write out the full date, not just the abbreviation. But checks and anything money, you just always want to be super careful. Yeah,
that's a great story right there, because be careful. You got to put 2020 on there.
Yeah. All right, well, next on the menu, we are helping you liven up your living space, how plants can boost your mood and reduce stress. And they just look gorgeous, too, around your house.
I'm on board with this plan. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Dave. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Just fine. Just fine. Yeah. Happy New Year.
Well, the holiday fun is over. Decorations are gone. Then you look around your house and you're thinking, wait a second, it looks so empty. And you want to get rid of stress and anxiety. Maybe that's on the list.
Well, I think we need to. Yeah, Noelle Aiken from Petites is here bringing nature indoor and can help boost our mood, immunity, and help us sleep better. And of course, I think of the three of us, I'll carry this segment, right? So anyway, that question I just asked, why is that?
Well, actually, when you bring houseplants inside, you're already increasing your oxygen, right? So you're breathing easier, you have more oxygen, so you sleep better, you have a better mood, right? So all that plays together. When you have plants around you, it's a good thing.
Noelle,
definitely.
can I admit, half of the house plants I bring into my house don't make it. They
Okay.
just don't.
That's okay.
I don't know what it is. Half of them do, half of them don't. So tell me about these plants. Are these easy plants to have? And am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, 5 of the easiest
Okay.
families. We'll start over here. This is the snake plant, okay? Called Sansevieria, fancy name. But the snake plant comes in all different shapes and sizes, short, tall, what have you. Awesome air purifier plant. Really can clean the air very nicely and can grow in any light level, except you really don't want it in bright, sunny areas. So inside the house or inside the office, great plant. And you can treat it like a cactus. So it really wants to be on the drier side of watering. So if we're a little bit neglectful with water, which is okay, all of us are, that will work out just fine.
Okay, so this one's beautiful.
Yeah, so this is a ZZ plant. The botanical name is really long, so I'm not even gonna say it. This is a ZZ, okay?
ZZ is easy to remember.
Does it have a beard?
No,
Yeah.
it does not, but that would work, yeah. So ZZ plant, this is from Africa. This is a low light plant. So you have a dark house or a hallway or someplace you want to put this plant, great area for it. Very light on watering again. So you could treat this like a cactus as well.
Great. And
Okay.
these I have seen everywhere.
Right.
like those.
Okay.
Yes.
Spider plants
spider
are
plants.
classic. Okay. Classic plant, easy care, low to medium light inside the house. Again, no bright dark light. But what you're going to find is this plant actually will clean carbon monoxide out of the air.
Oh, wow, okay.
So very great plant to have. Good cleaner. Awesome.
Now this looks a little trendier. Are these, because I've seen these air plants.
Yes.
Are these the air
You
plants
got
that
it.
you could, okay.
Yes, so air plants, again, good air cleaners. All you need for this, no soil. You can just spray mist them or keep them in the bathroom or the kitchen, somewhere where there's a little bit more humidity, and they do really well, and that's them. And this
Just
one's not even
spray it with
planted.
a mist. It's not,
Yeah,
oh my
no,
gosh.
it's just in the pot, so it's pretty.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
and just a spray.
Little spray mist, you're done.
All right. Now to some of the bigger, fuller ones.
Right, so this is your philodendron family, and there's lots of different varieties of philodendron, but again, all of them are very easy care, good air cleaners. You can hang them up, like this one in the back is the Swiss cheese philodendron, so if you pull that up, Maureen, you can see how it hangs down.
And I see why it's called the Swiss cheese. 'cause
Yes,
the holes in the leaves.
absolutely. This one is the Salome philodendron, just nice, beautiful, wavy leaves.
beautiful.
And imperial red, so this one will actually get more red color inside the home.
So how often should we be watering?
Great question. Always depends on your home environment, but when you water thoroughly, okay? Moisten the soil, let the water drain out. You do it one more time, and then put your plant back.
Like once a week, once a month? What are we
Again,
doing?
right? In the wintertime,
This is
it's
why half of mine
usually
just
like,
die.
in the wintertime, you can let them go on the drier side. So even if they wilt, like if the philodendron wilts, it'll wilt slightly, you go ahead and water it thoroughly, it'll pop back up. All these will pop back. They're really nice in that respect. And if you overwater these, that's where you're gonna have a problem. So try to keep them on the drier side, especially in the wintertime.
Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite? Oh gosh, you were gonna put me on the spot there. I love the snake plants. I always tell people you don't know a plant until you kill it. I've killed a lot of different plants in my life. Snake plant, I've never killed. Knock on wood.
great.
Okay, so all those work out really nicely.
They're fantastic.
All right.
Noelle,
you ready
thank
for
you
those?
so much. Dave, go
Thank
impress
you.
your wife.
Wow, right.
Yeah, with your green thumb.
I
your
know
new
what I'm
green
doing
thumb.
here.
Right?
Yeah, so new New Year's resolution. Noelle, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
We have some inspiration now.
Excellent.
Well, next on the menu, how actor Donnie Wahlberg and his wife Jenny McCarthy made one waitress's New Year's Day. That's when we come back. Welcome back. Actor Donnie Wahlberg and his wife Jenny McCarthy are kicking off 2020 by giving back. Check this out. On New Year's Day, the couple ate at an IHOP near their house in Illinois.
They left their server a $2,020 tip. Their bill was $75. The waitress told People magazine that she cried because she's a single mom who's struggling to make ends meet. What a story.
Yeah, and I just can't believe that they racked up $75 at IHOP.
That did. This is our last lunch break, by the way. 5 o'clock, Jay and Betsy, later in January.
I know, so make sure you tune into that. And it's being called What's New, and you'll be able to see it later on in January. Thanks so much for being with us. Have a great weekend.